think we're live. Yep, we're live. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes, see if anybody pops in. Our mic. Good morning, afternoon, Vanine. Coffee and a camera. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. I'm back. Let me turn the thing on. Who is this? Piper wants to say hi real quick. Just say hi. Get a look right there and say hi. See that camera right there? Hi. Say hi. Can you wave? All right, I love you.
You guys love when I'm in Daddy's videos.
All right, sweetie.
Okay, bye.
Okay, guys, welcome. This is live stream number 3. Now, I had to skip a couple of weeks because I was not here. Oh, hey, Piper, Travis said hi. Greetings. Say hi, Travis. Remember
Hi, Travis.
All right, what do we got here? Greetings. Hey, Mike. Hey, Barry. So, yeah, so I was gone for a while. I haven't posted a video in a couple weeks, I know that. But I figured I would do a live stream and just tell you why. Because I was gone for a couple of weeks. And I know you guys understand, when you leave or you're gone for a while. Hey, Dom, how are you, buddy? Yeah. You know, I got this, Dom, this Airy, and it was in like mint condition. And I bought some magazine parts for it, and in the parts bin was this motor. And I didn't even know it was in there when I got it. I got it really cheap, and this is one of those George Jensen crystal sync motors, and it works fantastic. So I got real lucky on that. But it was like mint condition, came with 3 primes, and I'm real happy with it. But I have it out here because I want to talk about it for a minute. I took it north. So I know you guys have, everybody's gone on a vacation. And when you get back, it just takes, I don't know, it takes time to get back in the whole, I was gone for a couple of weeks, so get back in the flow, get back into the sort of the stream of things. And that's where I've kind of been. I've been trying to get my grips about me again, so I'm getting, you know, geared up to do some more videos. I have a couple really fun ones in mind, so bear with me. Been working on a possible little film festival that I want to do. Very simple, small, sort of community-based film festival that I want to do. And I want to talk about that a little bit today. So, oh, I have a question also. And have you ever gone away? If you're watching this live, you can tell me. But if you're not, if you're watching this after it's been recorded, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this are. So I went away for just under 2 weeks. And I went to see my mom and sister, and my family and I, we went up there to Indiana. And I brought what I thought was not very many cameras, because every time I go, I always overbring. But this time I decided I'm going to bring my Airy. I brought my Canon 514 XL, just my little run and gun camera. and I brought two 35mm still cameras. My little Olympus XA, which I love because it's a good pocket camera, and I brought my Nikon F3. So what had happened was, I got there and I hadn't seen my mom in for about 4 years. So we got into the moment, and everybody's having fun, and there was snow, and my girls wanted to see the snow and everything. So essentially what happened is, after, you know, week and a half, I didn't end up using really anything. I brought, like I say, I thought I packed light, but I brought this and like 6 100-foot rolls of film, different. I brought some Ektachrome and some Vision stocks. I ended up shooting about 50 feet of film in this, in Indiana, which I'll show it to you later, not today, but it's still in the camera. I got to finish the roll, and it's black and white. I shot about 45 feet in my 514 XL of the 50. I couldn't even finish a 50-foot roll of film. And then I think I took maybe 15 or 20 35mm pictures with my XA. So of course I way overpacked. I think I brought half a dozen rolls of Super 8 film as well, and I ended up shooting almost one full roll of black and white, plus X, I believe. And again, it was just goofy stuff. My stepdad and I, we would go somewhere. I would jump out of the car and just sort of document with Super 8 where we were. So it was like images of, you know, Walmart and some thrift stores we went to, and, you know, it's just kind of just goofy stuff. So basically, I brought all this stuff and I didn't do anything with it. So I'm a little disappointed in myself, but I had a really good visit. But I'm a little disappointed because, I don't know, I brought back all the stuff and, you know, nothing was really done, you know. What's that, Mike? I can't really understand. Hey, Lyle. I got to turn my computer a little bit. It's hard to see it. Cameras, not too many. Oh, that's a great number of cameras. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a perfect amount, but it ended up being too much. Still, I didn't use any of it. You know, you're visiting and you're not. I wasn't actually there to film. I was there to kind of visit with family, and it's so picturesque out there. I live in a kind of a small town, growing, but in a city setting. My sister in Indiana and my mom, they live more rural. So my sister's property they have a lot of farmland and stuff. So there was a lot of stuff that I don't get to see regularly here in Central Florida. So it was opportune, but it was really, really cold. Weather like we don't typically see here. And there was snow for about, I don't know, maybe a third of the time we were there. So it wasn't real easy to get out. And I felt like, I don't know, I got home and I felt, I don't know, I was a little disappointed in myself. That's all. Anyway, enough about that. Yeah, you're right about that, Travis. I didn't have to worry about leaving it in the hot car for sure. That's definitely a concern here in Florida. So, I want to show you guys something really quick. You know, I can't focus, but you know, guys, I always talk about, because I really like what they do. You know, I like these magazines, right? But I want to show you real quick. If you didn't see, if you don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, this is issue 18 of Silver Grain. Can you see that? But I was excited to see this. Look at that. Yours truly, right? A 4-page spread. Kind of a neat article. I don't want to give it all away, but if you're interested in the magazine, it's number. That's my, over here, my filmmaking partner that moved away on me, abandoned us. But a nice little article that I wrote for Silver Grain Classics magazine. I wrote it a couple months ago and the magazine just came out. So if you're interested, check it out. Really? So what I want to talk about today a little bit is something we touched on my last live stream. And the more I've been thinking about it, it's a really good idea. And it'd just be fun. It would just be no stress, because I have plenty of that. A no stress sort of fun little mini Super 8 film festival. Mini because it's tough to get the word out there sometimes. So we'll make it a small festival and just see if there's any interest whatsoever. My buddy Lyle on here, he's on here now. You'll see Lyle Scott. But he emailed me a pretty comprehensive little list of ideas for this festival. And he had a lot of really good points that we're going to touch on here in just a second. Some things that I probably would have overlooked, just because I would just say, send in your 5-minute film and let's call it quits and then let's vote on it. But he had some good points and things that really needed to be included. So here's kind of, and you let me know, if you're watching live, let me know in the comments. If you're watching after the fact, I really would like you to leave a comment and let me know what you think of this idea and how we could get the word out. I mean, I could talk about it in my normal YouTube videos, and we could promote it a little bit that way. Or the key to this is to get people involved, because I could have 10 people submit a film, but if those 10 people are the only ones that know about it, you're just voting on yourself. So we have to kind of get the word out a little bit. My buddy Jupes and I had toyed with the idea for years of starting an actual film festival, which we never ended up doing because, well, it takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and there's very little reward, and there was a lot of things to think about. That's why I'm thinking about doing a very simple Super 8/8mm mini film fest. And yes, Renee, thank you. Yeah, I think it's going to be a neat idea. If we can get enough interest in it, I think it would be a great idea. Take out a mortgage on film stock. Yeah, you're right about that. Film is going crazy right now. But that's why this is going to be 1 to 2 carts. It's not going to be a lot. Or 1 to 2 rolls of 8mm. Standard 8, because I have some friends that love shooting on 8mm, which is just as beautiful as Super 8, and you can actually get a lot more out of 8mm, I think. So here's some points. Now you guys fill me in and flying on should expire. Yeah, you're right. You only get a second job. Let me know. I'm going to go over a couple of things, add to it, subtract from it. Let me know kind of what you think. It would be sort of peer judged. That's kind of how it would have to go down. Super 8 or regular 8 format. I think either or, because they're essentially the same size. Super 8's a tiny bit bigger, but Super 8 or regular 8, black and white or color, doesn't matter, depends on the mood. This is a point that Lyle brought up that was a really, really good point. Since this is going to be YouTube based, it can't have copyrighted music in it. It could have dialogue. English dialogue or English subtitles, please. I think 5-minute maximum. It could be any minimum, but a 5-minute maximum I think would be a good place to cut it, because that's basically 2 carts. If you shoot at 18 and then you get a little extra, and that's being very careful. Excuse me, and shooting 1-to-1 ratio. So if you're really, really careful and you want to shoot 1-to-1 ratio, you could do it in 2 carts. You could use 1 cart. It could be a 1-minute short, but I think 5-minute maximum to keep it simple. Any genre will work, but let's keep it. I want to keep it YouTube rated. If you understand what YouTube rated means, it can't be X rated or hard R, or there are certain things that YouTube allows and certain things they don't. And my channel has always been very family friendly, so we will allow YouTube friendly ratings. My wife is right there dancing, looking for something. She's going to walk by. Say hi, Nicole.
Hi.
She's got to get something out of my kids' room. 1 submission. That was another good point that Lyle brought up. Hey there, Cecil. Hey, buddy. Yes, 1 submission each. I know in a lot of film festivals, I've attended a lot of film festivals in my time, and a lot of times there are filmmakers that will submit more than 1 movie at a time, and I think for this one, just 1 is sufficient. That's kind of it. There really isn't a lot to this other than, and I had debated on whether And my wife's going to walk back through, so we'll give her a second to get through. She had to grab an iPad. Bye, honey.
Bye.
She just finished, by the way. I'm so proud of her. She just did. She likes doing those. You guys ever see those crazy people that do that run the 5K, 10K, 15K marathons through the mud? They're called Tough Mudders. I think they're called Tough Mudders. She just did a 15K yesterday. Anyway, way more K than I could do. Prizes. Again, simplicity is key here. So I'm totally on board with including some prizes. That's a great idea, Travis, actually. That would be fun, I think. That's sort of part of any genre. Mock commercials would be fun. Make up a product, make up a commercial for it. Now there's your 1 to 1.5 minute, infomercial submission. So one cart. Thanks, Mike. Thought out. Yeah. Hiya. Hey, old radios. How are you, my friend? You better turn on those notifications. So just to get you up to speed really quick, we're talking about the mini Super 8/8mm film festival. Let's see. Okay, so prizes. So I had a couple of thoughts on this. We could either do something like, and I'm not overly keen on this, but we could do a very tiny entry fee, $5, $10, and that money goes towards a prize. Or and the only reason I'm not keen on that is because I don't really want to be responsible for all that. I don't like taking money in because with these new these crazy laws and all that, any amount of money you take in, it's I got to pay taxes on all that. So anyway, I mean, if it kept it small, if it was a $5 entry fee and then I took whatever entries there were, I would take that money and I would buy an FPP gift card or something like that. That's another option. I thought about contacting Mike over at FPP. I don't really know him, so I mean, I've emailed with him a couple times, but he's a really super guy, he seems like. So I don't know if he would be on board with maybe donating a $25 or $50 gift card for FPP. That's an option, which I kind of like, because then I don't have to physically send anything prize-wise. Or thirdly, I have quite an abundance, as Travis, Celluloid Alchemist, will tell you. He's been to my house many times. I have an abundance of expired films, so I could throw even a little package together. I could even probably round up a cool Super 8 camera to throw together with a roll of film and maybe have that as a prize. Again, this is just our test festival. I use my hands a lot, and I'm not Italian because they say Italians use their hands a lot. So as a test festival, I don't know. To tell me what you guys think. Do you guys know of somebody that might want to throw a little prize in, or a little sponsor, or something like that? Something very easy and simple that we in the film community would like. I think probably the best prize I can think of is film, because it's getting really expensive, and everybody wants it in our community. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Film maybe is a good prize. I don't know. We could even put a fun little, maybe a trophy together or something. I don't know. Shooting with my, oh, you are old. Yep. Regular 8 Tri-X. Love it. Your first regular 8 footage. It would be if FPP would sponsor. Yeah, I would. It would be really cool, Renee, if they would sponsor it. That would be awesome. But like I say, I don't really have a rapport with them. I've ordered quite a bit of stuff from them over the years. And I've had a just very basic, business related ordering stuff, email with Mike a couple of times, but that's really it. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know him personally, but it would be totally up to him, if they wanted to throw in a $25 gift card. I know they have gift cards at the FPP, and they have a lot of stuff. He sells a ton of film, and they have neat little niche products, so I thought that would kind of be cool. How about you? Barry. Barry wants to give this away as a prize. When I hit $1 million in the Florida lottery, I will give this away as a prize. Oh, you filmed with your Rex 5. How did you like that? I used to have a Rex 5, and I really wish I never sold it. Yeah, Travis, do you have a rapport with them? I feel like I know you've used them quite a bit. I don't really know anybody over there, but that would be cool if they would throw in a, maybe even 100-foot roll of 16. No, we want to keep it because this is our 8 Super 8 Fest. So maybe they throw in. I don't know if they even process and scan Super 8 at Film Lab Atlanta. I don't know. But I'd be down with that. Anything anybody wanted to donate as a prize, I would totally be down with. Hey, Nicholas. Yeah, I'm expired film as a prize. I mean, expired film this day and age is just about as good. I mean, it's like gold. All film is expensive now. Even expired film is expensive. So, I could be down with just donating some expired film. Yeah, that's what I was worried about, Travis. I thought they just do 16 and 35 at the Kodak Film Lab in Atlanta. And Renee, I would do a runner-up prize. I think that would be a great idea. And I had thought about that as well. Maybe a grand prize of, if I just donated the prizes myself, I could round up a camera. In fact, I have a, one second. I'm not giving this one away, but I have another one that I had considered using. You guys remember this. This is it's got my tape on it for light proofing purposes. You guys remember these. These are those Russian-made Zenit Quartz cameras. Great little wind-up cameras. Remember I did the video where I sync sound with a wind-up camera. But I have another one of these. It's a little more beat up, but it works great. And I thought about maybe including that one and not coffee, but maybe throwing that camera in. Again, nothing set in stone, and a roll of film, and send the film back to me. You keep the camera, send the film back, I'll process it, scan it, and send it back to you. That's an opportunity, not really an opportunity, but that's an option as well. Let me set this down so I don't drop it. So, I love your ideas. Obviously, a gift card would be the easiest because, especially something like either B&H or I can't imagine B&H getting on board, but it's FPP or even Adorama or I don't know, a gift card in this arena, because then I don't have to physically send anything, and I don't really want to have to restrict to U.S. only. I know there are a lot of people that do when they have contests and festivals. I don't like that. I mean, I would if I had to, like if I were shipping and I had to ship this long distance and it was a couple $100, I don't know. I probably couldn't eat that. So, depends on what route we go, but I would rather be able to keep it open internationally because there are some international viewers and they're just phenomenal filmmakers, and I just think that would be, I think we're closing the door and we shouldn't be, so I'm missing a couple of things here. Better than your non-reflex, didn't have any issues. Send my footage. Yeah, send it off. I'm going to see what you get out of that Rex 5. Yeah, that's a good idea, Renee. I think there's definitely got to be a runner-up. Now, there can't be a runner-up if I only get 2 submissions, of course. If I get 2 submissions, we'll probably just put them on YouTube and say, hey, everybody, watch these films. Oh, Mike, that would be awesome. Ooh, a quarter. What kind of Super 8 camera you got, Mike, that you would be interested in? One of those wind up because I don't trust the aging. Yeah, these kind of cameras, they just don't fail. They just don't seem to fail. I mean, there's very little in the way of electronics in them. They just, I don't know. It's just so different than a a battery operated camera, because there's so much that can go wrong. They get circuit boards and all this. These kind of you just crank them up like the K3s and you just crank them up and go. I mean, they only don't work if your hand gets tired. I want to film with my Canon Zoom 8, then I'll start sending off footage. I'll be getting any music. Master for my editing. Yeah, you are you're the radio man right there. I think you're. I don't know if anybody. I don't know. I know most people are. I know them by screen name. Old radios. male, I believe. I don't know your real name, so sorry if I. Yeah, Pro 8mm, Mike. That's not a bad idea either. Oh, you got your quarters, good. Yeah, I don't know Phil over at Pro 8. I've had maybe half a conversation with him, and I think it was on Facebook. But he's not very active on Facebook anymore. Um, that's another good idea, Renee. An ECN2 home developing kit. Yes, those are easy to put together. I could put one of those together. The only problem with that is it's pretty person specific. In other words, if that person doesn't process their own film, then it's kind of not a. I don't know. That's a good idea, though. Bellenhau 311 is a wind-up Super 8. That'll be a good camera. Mike, you sound like me, Mike. So many. I do. I have way too many. My wife and I were talking about it the other day, and I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who, and they asked me how many cameras I had, and I said, I don't know, probably 40 or 50, and she was standing in the kitchen chuckling, laughing at me because she knew I was wrong. Yeah, Cecil, I'm with you. I like those cameras, and these are real easy. The K3 16mm, it takes on some of them, especially the newer ones. I have two, and my older one is easier to crank. This is super easy to wind. There's no effort whatsoever with these little cameras here. The K3 can be trying on you. In fact, I want to make a lever that sort of fits over it and gives old people like me a fighting chance of getting it cranked up. Yeah, Barry, probably electronically. Yeah, I would probably open up a Google Drive to everyone to submit to. They would let me know they have a film, and I would send them the Google Drive. They could just upload it to the drive, and then I can download it, and then I would probably, I don't know, there's so many logistics, but I would probably just put it on my channel. I would probably make one video out of it where we'd show all the films one after the other. That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, Mike, I do like the idea of developing chemistry. I'm just not positive everybody has the capability of doing it. I know a lot of people that would hopefully get involved. I think a lot of them send their films off to process, but I'm totally not against that. I would do that if that's kind of what everybody was looking at. Yeah, I posted my announcement on Instagram. I have an Instagram page. I'm so terrible at Instagram, Mike. I've had it for years and years and years, and I just don't maintain it. I post so rarely, and I feel bad because I get messages from people on Instagram, and I won't see them for a week later. I'm just so bad at Instagram. Hashtags and all that stuff. I don't know. It's hard enough for me to keep up with YouTube, as you guys know. It's fun fixing them. Yeah, I'm not that great at fixing them. I can do okay. Probably 1080p. I would think 1080p. Yeah, the Quartz does have more features. You're right. Travis, 1080 probably only because it's a lot of. I don't know. They're awfully big. 4K files can get awfully big, and I don't think it's that important that it's 4K. 1080p I think is sufficient. Yes, color and black and white, absolutely. Yeah, no, it could be either or and both. I think I don't think there should be any limits at all on what the film looks like, other than as long as it's not crazy inappropriate. God, I love this camera, but I'm going to move it out of the way. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Check something here really quick. Yeah, budget black and white. There's nothing wrong with black and white at all. I do it for budgetary reasons as well. I have quite a bit still. of black and white film. Expired, old stock. Perf twerk or no perf? I don't like perfs. You guys know I don't like when the perf. Totally, I say totally too much, but it's definitely a aesthetic choice. Some people like to show the perf, you know, in the film. I don't like that. I think it's, I won't tell you what I think it is because I know a lot of my friends, they like it, so that's okay, and it's totally fine. It's okay if you like seeing the perforation. To me, it's distracting. I like to cut it out. If I watch a film, I think it's a little pompous. I think it's a little. The film should speak for itself. You shouldn't have to tell people that it's Super 8 or 16 millimeter. But I mean, sadly, you do have to mention it sometimes. But I don't like the perf. But it's not a deal breaker. You know, if you want perforation in your movie, then that's fine. Travis, I know you like the perf. You're such a perf. Google Drive would be great. We could all watch at our leisure and vote, etc. Agree about person view. Yeah. I was kind of a halfway fan of them early on when I started processing Super 8, and then the more I was looking at them, they just, I don't know, they jiggle and they're just in the way to me, you know, and the top and the bottom of the previous frame and the next frame. I like a good, clean crop. Let this film speak for itself. But, you know, everybody, to each their own. Everybody is a little bit different. And, you know, some people like the perf. You should maybe take some time to make and take a poll on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube on the questions you have for the fest. Let's get numbers. Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. I thought about doing a poll on Facebook and Instagram just to see if there was any interest at all. Obviously, this is going to be a big, huge, fat waste of time if we get 2 people that are interested. You want at least 8 or 10 people that submit. If we could get some positives, you know, some rock solid yeses, you know, then we're in good shape, I think. Travis. Yes, you are. Watch the perf twerk. Especially if it's not stabilized, then it's doing quite a dance. Snarky titles, yep. White letters. Perf spell check. Oops. Leave it up to Barry. Perf at Lyle. Yep, perfect. Lyle did have some great ideas. He sent me a pages file. What do you mean you insert the date? You put the you put it on a card and film the date or something? Old radios? Lyle, I'm counting on you. Don't let me down. You didn't let me down on this. You gave me a lot of great ideas. Lyle sent me, like I said, he sent me a nice outline of a lot of his ideas, which were great. And then even sort of a submission form where you put your name and simple stuff that we're definitely going to have to do. Yeah, I do that too. I do a lot of times. I'll film a white card just for a couple seconds. I usually like to go at least 3 to 4 seconds because I develop all my own film, so sometimes it overlaps a little. I just want to make sure I get it in there because a year or 2 down the road when I revisit it, I want to know what camera shot it. I want to know what the film I'm using. You know, you get all the particulars. And I know Cecil is very, very good at doing that. My buddy Cecil, he shoots a lot of 8mm. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to check it out. Check out his channel, Cecil DeVille. I don't know if I can post his link on here. Let me see if I can put Cecil's channel on here because he does a lot of fun Super 8 around his house. Cecil, I got to figure out how to find your. Let me see if I can find your page real quick. I know I'm not going to be able. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can. Where's the share button on his page? Bear with me, guys. Hold on 1 second. See if this works. Somebody click on this and see if it works. Cecil B. No. Somebody click on that and see if it. I promise it's not spam. See if that works. See if you get to his page. Cecil's a fun guy. He does really cool. Just like I say, like 8mm stuff is his sort of a specialty, and I think he's dabbling in 16mm too a little bit. He's on here, or he was. He did say hi a little bit ago. But I think it's important that we use Super 8 and 8mm because a lot of people like 8mm. I love 8mm. Problem with me with 8 is I don't like. I process and scan all my own stuff, and I just don't like the process of splitting it and splicing it and doing all that. Just a little bit easier for me to just shoot Super 8. Although 8mm and 8mm cameras are much more stable, I think. They have like true pressure plates, whereas Super 8 really doesn't. Okay, cool, Cecil. Yeah, you guys check out Cecil's YouTube channel. He posts relatively regular, as does Celluloid Alchemist, my buddy Travis. He's been posting a lot of really cool film trailers, 35mm trailers. Okay, thanks, Barry. Yay, I'm catching KD! Yahoo! Finally, you're here live. Hang on 1 second, I gotta just check something really quick. Okay. I'm so bad at this whole live streaming thing, you guys know. But I did try to. It's still really bright right here. You see how bright it is? And I have one light on. I have one right here above my head, but I only have one light, and it's just, I've tried so many different settings. It's just, these cameras are very, very sensitive. So bear with me. It's better than my other one though. You guys want to see what the laptop camera looks like? Watch this. You're gonna get scared. Woohoo! Now that is a really weak camera. Anyway, back to the good one. Well, you know what, old radios? Maybe you should do it with a little film festival. And a film festival is really nothing more than showcasing something fun that you filmed. I don't really care. I don't think anyone cares what it is. It's about what's important to you. I've said it many times in my videos. What's important to me is filming stuff that I enjoy. If you enjoy filming traffic coming at you, film traffic coming at you. I'd be a little tepid about standing in traffic doing that, but I enjoy filming my kids growing up and places we go, and as you know, I film a lot of wildlife, trees and clouds and birds, and I just film stuff that I enjoy sitting outside and looking at, or you know, if we get out, my wife and I love to go to parks just to get out in nature a little bit. That's what I enjoy filming. So if you just want to film, you know, just what it is you love, it doesn't have to have any rhyme or reason about it. You know, we're all sort of technical people, so even though I think when it comes to narrative projects that the story is way more important than the format that you use, this little film festival could be anything that you enjoy. Anything you enjoy. Well, almost anything that you enjoy. You are getting better, slowly getting better. Travis. Yeah, future festival could be Reloaded magazines. Yeah, you are. I like that, Mike. Keep bouncing. Could be Reloaded magazines. Yeah. Could be 16mm magazines. Oh, by the way, does anybody shoot those 16mm magazines? Because I have a question. Here, I'm going to show you. Here. These. Does anybody use these? Anybody, even if you're watching this live stream after it has gone, just upload it after it's over. If you use these, then you know what a magazine, 16mm 50-foot magazine is. I did a video a year or two ago about trying to load single perf film into those magazines, and it was a disaster. There's only sprockets at the top of the roller inside the magazine, so it just didn't work. I actually tried to grind those sprockets off on one magazine. It was a disaster, so I could never get single perf film to work in one of those magazines. So what I'm thinking is I thought about trying to flip single perf film upside down. It would have to be scanned. It would be really weird. It's almost like right now I'm trapped in some kind of a weird, like a black hole that I'm trying to figure out exactly how it would work. But the perfs need to be up when you load the film. So double perf, it's never a problem. But with single perf, it ends up on the bottom and it doesn't work. So I thought about re-spooling it one direction and then flipping the film upside down. The problem is when you scan it, you're going to end up scanning it backwards. So there would be some post work, and I don't know, it would be upside down and inverted somehow. It would be odd to try to figure it out how to do, but I think it might be kind of just up my alley to see if that's possible. To turn the single perf film upside down, spool it backwards, then spool it onto a magazine, the way it goes, which is all kinds of different directions, and then run the film backwards. Basically, you're running it forward, but the film is actually going back. I don't know. If you make any heads or tails out of what I just said, let me know. Yeah, thanks, Lyle. I don't know what I'm doing. The Whitnauer camera doubles as a projector. Yeah, I had a chance to get one of those a long 25 years ago, 30 years ago, and I didn't. And they're available online. Have you ever used that Whitnauer? I'm curious if they actually work. I know there's a camera, and then you have the base, and you set the camera on this base, and it turns into a projector. I don't know. They're neat looking. I don't know. Stop motion would be very cool. The squirrels. That squirrel's still back there, by the way, Travis, waiting on you. Remember him? You filmed some squirrels. I love squirrels. We have them all over our backyard. We have 3 very, very large live oak trees on our property. And we get squirrels. Okay, here's what I've had. Squirrels, snakes, tons and tons of little lizards, hawks all the time, raccoons during the day. We've seen them a couple of times. Opossums, armadillos. Oh, I was trying to shoo one out of my front yard. It was digging up my front yard. Moles. You name it, basically. We're in Florida. We get every animal you can imagine. Playing with other magazine cameras, 16 and 8. I want to shoot some. I want to shoot some magazine 8. I have a ton of those magazines, and I know how to reload them. They're real easy to reload. So I do want to start messing with. It's regular 8. You flip the magazine over, but it's way easier than flipping the spools. There's another festival, upside down and backwards. Well, get with it, old radio. Shoot with it. I want to know how it works. Yeah, Mike, those Whitnauers they're a weird contraption. They really are strange. Who would imagine you could film and then get your film developed and then, I don't know, and then project it with the camera as well. But the camera does need that base, too, to attach onto. Adam Fettermine. Who, the squirrel, Travis? Optical viewfinder's messed up. Just wing it. Just hold it. Just sort of point it. See what happens. Oh, that's too bad, Cecil. I'd love to see you use it. A Bell & Howell 200 from magazine 16mm. Yeah, that would be nice. I want a 200-foot magazine for my Aeroflex. I almost picked up, there was a lot on eBay, and they wanted to buy it now like $250, and there was 4 200-foot magazines, and I eyeballed it for, a couple days, and then before you know it, there was a bid on it. And as you guys know, if you buy on eBay, if there's a starting bid of $1, and then a buy it now for $250. As soon as somebody bids $1, the buy it now goes away. So I waited, and it was like somebody bid really low, and I'm like, all right, well, it's a low bid, maybe I'll get in on it. And I tried, and it ended up they sold for like $450 or something, so I didn't get them. There's one on there now, 200 foot, because I have tons of 200-foot rolls, daylight spool rolls of my favorite black and white 16 millimeter film. That's 7231, and I can spool it down, which I've done, but I want to shoot the 200-foot rolls. I don't know why, because I can only process 100 feet at a time. Oh, you only respool 35 millimeter. Too chicken to try anything else. We get skunks, raccoons, and opossums. We get tons of opossums. I haven't seen any skunks here, but we have a lot of skunks in our area. We've been getting a lot of coyote sightings. Coyote. What's the other one? Coyote. What's the other wild dog that people are afraid of? Not a wolf, is it? I haven't seen any coyotes in my yard. We get turtles too, by the way. Big box turtles. Possums, yeah. Don't have the bulb for the projector part. Well, get yourself up. Sometimes those bulbs can be really costly. You know, focus is overrated anyway. Just point and shoot. When all else fails, you point, shoot. You could measure. That's for beginners. The iPhone needs an app. There needs to be an app where you could just point at something and it tells you how far away you are. Like the, you know, the little viewfinder, the little range finders. Just the Kodak had one. I need to get one of those. Wonder if they ever made director's viewfinder for 8mm cameras. I don't know. How about one for 16 to 35 framing? You know, you can use the, you know, those side finders that go on the non-reflex Bolexes. Those are good because they are adjustable. Those would be good for director viewfinding. And I have a bunch of those, actually. You hit mountain lions. Wow. We get bears here, too. I've not had any in my yard, thankfully, but a lot of my friends live more rural than I do, and they have cameras, and they get a lot of bears. We get a lot of deer, a lot of bears. Black bears. Tons of bulbs. Let me know which one it takes. Yeah, old radios, get with Mike. He's got some bulbs. Some of them are very expensive. I have a projector in the garage. Somebody gave it to me. I bought a camera from him. I think it was on Craigslist. He had some cameras listed. I went to his house, an older guy, and he gave me the projector. I can't even remember what it is. I have 2 or 3 projectors. And really, how many do you need when it comes to projectors? I have my 2 favorites, and that's all. But he gave me one, and has a working bulb, but it had an extra bulb as well. And I looked it up, and these bulbs are like $100 a piece. Some of these bulbs, one of those crazy ones, you know, the tall. Some of them are expensive. BEM120, 400 watts. That's a bulb. So yeah, I really want to know if you guys think that this little festival is viable or not. I mean, I don't see why not. The very worst that can happen is that no one participates and we chalk it up to experience and, you know, we move on and we make something cool. I am planning to do I got another video. I thought about a video I wanted to do today. And, oh, hey, Manny. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. I thought about doing a video. I've referenced it. I call it my Pinto theory. If you've seen, I've talked about it in a couple of videos where you could buy 3 1971 Ford Pintos from 3 different people in 3 different parts of the country or even world. And all 3 of them, although they're all 1971 Pintos and they're essentially the same car, they're all going to be, there's something wrong with each one of them, and each thing is going to be a little different. This one, the tie rods are out. This one, the radio doesn't work. And this one, it was blown up. So that's kind of the same principle with cameras. I have 3 Canon 1014 XLS cameras, and it hit me. I had a brain boing today, and I thought maybe it would be kind of fun to use one cartridge, maybe one of my new, that Kodak sent me, my new Ektachrome 100Ds, exact same settings on all three cameras and do a third of the cartridge with each camera, just to see they're all three of them are from different parts of, I don't even remember where I got them, but they're all three different. They all work, but just kind of see how each one outperforms or underperforms the other one. Might be kind of neat, because I've already seen that a little bit when I did my 10 cameras and my 15 camera comparison videos, where I used all three of those. They were a little bit different, but it might be kind of neat to see them all side by side. So let me know what you think about that. And I want to do some more time-lapse work as well. I've done, everybody does clouds, everybody does, certain things. It would be kind of neat maybe to do a flower or something like that, but looking for some ideas to do for time-lapse, maybe 5 to 8 hours. If you have some time-lapse ideas for Super 8, let me know, because that would be fun to do as well. I love doing time-lapse, and I would probably use either a Canon 1014 XL-S or my Minolta XL401, which has really, really cool time-lapse. Yeah, that Auto Zoom Electric 1014 is a great camera. I have a couple of those, 3 of them. I'm looking at them right there, and I think only one of them works. I have an 814. I'll show you really quick if I can get it without knocking down. I love this camera too. This is the 814, the Auto Zoom 814 XL, or Auto Zoom 814 electronic. This is a great camera. In fact, this was the top performer in my 10 camera, 1 cartridge of film that I did a couple years ago. But I love this camera. The biggest problem with it now is in mint condition, absolutely mint condition, and it runs beautifully. Everything works on it, except, this is going to come to a little shock to you, except the manual exposure. Auto exposure works fine. The manual exposure, you see on these cameras, you have to pull this little knob out right here, and then you turn it, and that moves your needle, opens and closes the lens iris. Well, that's not really working on this camera anymore, and I know why, because I've done some research, and I have to take it apart. You got to take this rubber piece out, and it's all gooey, and there's a rubber, like a grommet thing in there. When you pull this, that rubber piece comes forward and makes a connection, and as you turn it, it's turning that wheel, the diaphragm, opening and closing. Well, that rubber piece gets worn out, and then if I pull this really hard as I turn, it works, but when you let go, it drops back down. So there is an issue there. It works great in auto, but I don't shoot a lot of auto exposure unless I'm using my 514. All right, Lyle, what do you got? If you're really worried about entries, I would forego a few on this first one, but I think you'll be surprised the amount of people looking for something like this, especially if you're on Facebook. Yeah, I gotta start working on Facebook a little bit. I have a Facebook page. I have my own personal page, and I usually am not. I'm a little, even though it doesn't seem like it, I'm a little bit private when it comes to certain things. So I do have a Facebook page, and I have a lot of film connections on my Facebook page. If you are on my Facebook, I rarely post, and if I do, it's pictures of my kids or something goofy, picture I took or something, but it's not very often. But I do have a Filmboy24 Facebook page that I've always wanted to sort of update and keep going. I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm terrible at multiple social media outlets. I also have owned for quite some time Filmboy24.com. I want to get that up and running. Hopefully sometime relatively soon, maybe just put, I just throw a website together. I want to put some of my videos on there, and there's a couple of things I want to get rid of. I want to sell a couple of cameras on there or something, and I don't know. There's a lot of things I really want to do, but it's really tough when you're one person. Kodak made I've seen that Super 8 camera for surveillance. I almost bought a Kodak surveillance Super 8 camera. It was a really neat camera. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, Travis. Yeah, a 12-18. You know, the 12-18, the Canon 12-18s aren't as expensive as you would think. It's basically been described to me as, I don't own one, but they're kind of described as a lens with a little camera attached to the back of it. The lens is huge. You sell all your disc golf discs on there. Yeah, Facebook's great. Facebook's great, especially for networking and getting people involved and selling things. And yeah, Katie, I want to do some time lapse really bad. I've done a couple, and I really have been wanting to do some time lapse again. Conversation late. Love me some time lapse. Fun. Ant hills. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. We got plenty of ant hills here, Manny. Canon trifecta idea sounds cool. Thank you. The Analyst. That's right. I've seen that camera, Travis. In fact, I was going to get one. It didn't go for much. There was one on eBay. I don't know if there's any on there now, but it didn't go for very high, and I thought it was kind of neat, but I didn't get it. You know, it's getting cold. That must mean my hour is about up. No, 56 minutes gone by. Any other ways that you guys think this could be promoted a little bit? Like I say, I can talk about it on my channel. I can do a poll on Instagram, maybe Facebook, definitely on YouTube in the community tab. If you guys are interested in sharing the idea, that would be great. Once we get it going, and if you guys have any filmmaking friends, let them know about it. But I think it would be something that could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It took 100-foot loads. Ooh. I have one of those 200-foot cartridges somewhere in this house. I don't know where it's at. Patty Hearst footage camera, yeah. I just got a Canon 512 XL and the Canon 514 XL. I hope I'm able to get the Canon 310 XL, and I'm pretty much done with Super 8. Yeah, Renee. I have the 514 XL. I don't have a 512 or a 310. I know the 310 is pretty wicked. The lens is insane on that 310. I think it's an f1. Yeah, it's a 310 is a 3 to 1 zoom with a 1.0 lens. Like the 514 is a 5 to 1 zoom with a 1.4. And then the 512 would be a 1.2. No, these are great Sunday afternoons talking film. I know, Mike. I love talking film. I really do. I do. So keep everything in mind, guys. I know I hit my hour basically, and I don't usually like to go over an hour, too far over an hour. I'm kind of really excited about this. I also want to shoot some more still film. I don't know how many of you guys are into shooting 35mm still film or 120 film. I like doing both. I know Travis loves shooting still film as well. Pretty much anybody that likes shooting movie film likes still film as well. So I'm going to start doing a little bit more still film. There's been some events here in my town locally right now. There's a Volkswagen every year they do a big Volkswagen convention, and you get all the little guys with their Volkswagen Bugs and Beetles and buses and all that, and it's a really fun event. And it's fun. I've gone over there before. There's one at the city park where you go over, and I've taken lots of pictures, and I have albums full of my negatives that I've never really shown, but I want to get into a little bit more still film, 35mm 120. I have a camera I want to refurbish back here somewhere. Have you guys seen that? My Rolleiflex right there, 120 cam. So look for maybe a little bit more still film. I like still film. 35mm and 120 is my game. Yeah, I know, and I can't wait to get back in the game. Nicholas, you shoot lots of stills too. Yeah. See, everybody likes still film. You're gonna shoot disc film. Travis, you're such a nut. Speaking of disc film, you know what I want to do? You guys aren't supposed to see all the dust. There you go, Travis. Disc film, and I actually have some discs in the freezer. They're old. I want to do a video on some of the lost films, some of the lost formats, like disc, what is it, 110, APS, 126. I have most all of those formats. That it would be fun to maybe do a do an episode on that. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do. I want to do an episode. Tell me what you think. Filmboy Fest 24. I want to do an episode with as many different cameras as possible. Maybe even this one. But I want to start with my 4K camera that I always shoot my videos with. I want to do Super 8, 8mm, 16mm. It'd be an all-day affair, but VHS, Super VHS, 8mm video, Digital 8, High 8. I want to include as many formats, and I have most of those. As many formats in one video, and maybe just mid-talk it just changes. Because I'm such an analog junkie that I think that might be kind of fun. And maybe even throw it back to the way Travis does, where he sometimes records on cassette tape. So you get that crackly and that real 80s analog Beastie Boys feel, you know? What was that? I missed it. You're lacking in TLR. You need to pick up a TLR, definitely. Developed some 35mm black and white stills last night. First time in years. It's a good feeling, isn't it, Cecil? Love developing 35mm film. I just did a roll for my sister when I saw her in Indiana. And she had a roll and we processed it. I processed it a few nights ago, and it was from 2003 when she took her kids to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So it was fun. 35 and 120. Yep, Renee, I'm with you. Hell yeah, bringing the disc film back. 117 film. Now that is a large format film. Yes. Hi, I'm from the net. Hey, Rick. Oh, awesome, Rick. I'd love to have you in the festival. I went through a lot of this. I don't know if you were here, but we went through a lot of just ideas. So when the stream is over, if you want to watch the beginning, you'll get a sort of a feel for where we're kind of heading with it. But that would be a lot of fun. I'd love to have you involved. 122 film, yeah. Game Boy Channel. You want an IMO. Hey, radios, talk to the Celluloid Alchemist. He has an IMO. He brought it to my house. We actually shot it in the backyard a little bit. I used to have an IMO and I sold it. Dang it. Sold my Rex 5, sold my IMO. I sold my Aerocons. I sold an Aries years and years ago. I sold a lot of cameras I wish I didn't. We talked about it last time, but I was able to pick up a Zenitar 16mm fisheye lens for my K3. I'm excited to try it out. eBay auction. Oh, that's awesome, Lyle. I'm curious to know if it covers the whole frame. Is your K3? Oh no, your K3 is regular 16, right? It's not Super 16, so you should be perfect. Analog camera challenge. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Manny. I just all analog all the time. You kind of, you'll see as I go along. Could just be a nonsensical talk about anything. Could be like we're doing now, but the formats just keep changing. Only TR I got is a Kodak 621. That's okay though. There's nothing wrong with the Kodak 620. 620 film is great. Same as 220. It's just what is it? A little tiny bit wider or narrower? Like barely. Go-to in my Bronica SQ. That's a nice camera, Mike. Such a cool idea. Thanks, Renee. Do an episode on VHS. Here's a funny thing, guys. I don't know if I can get this out of here, but this little table here is a little wonky. But this is going to be a blast for you guys. I want to show you this really quick before we wrap it up. Speaking of VHS. Are you ready? Boom! Yeah! Oh yeah, who remembers this? You slide the, how does this come out? Oh yeah, here it is. The little eyepiece flips around, see that? Boom! And action. This is actually Super VHS. This is a GE Super VHS and it works. Camcorder. So if you're under 30 years old, what do you think? 30, 35? This is going to look like the Titanic to you. My fun analog lineup. I've had a few of those in my lifetime, way back in my lifetime. Oh, I think my stream. Did my stream cut out? I just gotta notice that my stream went off and back on, so I don't know if I'm connected anymore. Let me check. If you can see me, okay. So am I connected right now? It's getting choppy. JVC VHS camera lasted 15 seconds. Okay, it's good again. Awesome. Yeah, I got a little pop-up notice that I use OBS. It's a third-party software attached to my YouTube channel, and it got wonky. Mike, that's an interesting idea. Super/Ultra 16 by expanding the K3 gate on both sides, if that's even possible. No recentering ring needed. No, you definitely would not need. The only thing I would worry is I would order a gate first. I don't know if I would use not gate, yeah, I guess gate. I would order one. They're about $50, $60, and use that one instead and not tear up your original one. And just remember, when you do change that gate out, you do have to take the innards of your camera out to get to it. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's not bad. But that's a great idea. I don't know how far you can go both directions. I feel like there's something in the way. Without actually looking, I had one down there at one point. But I would love to know if you ever if you do something like that. I mean, Ultra 16 is insanely wide, and it would be beautiful. Good again, still working. Dropped out for a bit, but you're still on. Okay, good. Thanks, Renee. Mike, you have 4 K3s? Well, you don't have to worry about a gate too much then. Might screw up the film guide. Yeah, I would worry about it, and there's the little area where the claw pulls the film. I don't know. Hey guys, thanks, Mike. Great show. Hey, thanks, Manny, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Enrique, I don't do reversal processing unless it is E6. I actually thought about trying the black and white plus C41 process, which some people have had success with on Ektachrome film, but no, I don't use bleach for the most part, or I don't use black and white bleach. I do use color bleach for my ECN2. I'm confused. Are you talking about for black and white or for color? I do my own ECN2. I mix all my own chemicals for ECN2, and that does include bleach, not bleach bypass. I have not done that. No. So I guess to answer your question, no. You do have gates, Mike. Okay, good. Yeah, Lyle, that's what I was worried about. I remember when I got my mine gate for Super 16, it seemed like that pull-down claw area was really close, so you could almost cut into it. Maybe you could just cut it out. I don't know, but it seems to me like that little sliver is needed in there. And you would probably get more like leaks, maybe, yeah. Guys, listen, I'm at an hour and almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to probably go ahead and boogie. Canon 310 XL, Renee, I would not, I mean, I'd hate to pay more than about $250 or $300 for it. I know there are people on eBay that are asking way too much for those, and if they get them, good for them, but I saw a post on, I know I said I was leaving, but I saw a post on a Facebook group today. I think it was a 16mm group. Someone was asking how much an Aeroflex SR3 would be worth, because they were thinking of selling theirs, and they were considering, I don't know, some crazy prices. And I think I could have bought SR3s or SR2s or SR1s, a lot of them, just 10 or 12 years ago. You could get them for, $1,500 to $3,000, and now it's really, really, really gotten out of control. They're 20, 30, 40 grand now, which is ridiculous. It's sad, yeah. It's sad how much prices have gone up on all this film stuff. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. The prices go up because there's more interest, and that's a good thing, because when there's more interest, hopefully the film manufacturers notice and we get more films. Sadly, the price of films tend to go up as well. But everything's going up in price anymore, so. Time flies when you have fun. That's right, Lyle. Mahalo, yes, good times. Thanks, Mike. Back in college, we had our own black and white reversal formula process to get positive from regular black and white film. Yeah, you could definitely do it. Doing a reversal black and white, it's possible. I mean, it's not that it's that much more difficult. It's just I don't like the bleach process. I don't want to. It's very caustic and very, toxic. And there are alternatives. There's the peroxide bleach process with vinegar and stuff like that, and I've tried it and I've just had no luck with it. One Airflex, but I don't want to spend another $3K on another camera. Yeah, I don't blame you. Dreaming of owning an Arri Aton Eclair. I haven't watched it yet, Mike, but Noah over at Analog Resurgence just did a video on the Aton. I think it was Super 16. I'm dying to see it. I just haven't had time yet, but I want to see what he comes up with. I don't know where he got it, but it's a beautiful camera. It's one of my dream cameras. I probably would take the Aton over another Airflex. It's such a gorgeous camera. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody for chiming in, for tuning in, for watching it. If you're watching it after the fact, thank you again for watching. If you feel like subscribing, please do so. I got another video coming. I promise I'm going to get back into the game here very soon. I'm trying to get, back into it after my vacation. So, all right, Nicholas, Mike, everybody, Barry, I will see all of you. You guys know what's coming. There it is on this. That's so corny. I don't even know where that came from. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.